Yeah, good morning all of you. And our today's topic is about state machines. Okay, so first of all, let's see the content of the title for today. So you know what is a state machine? In basic building blocks, we were learning about state machines under, if you remember, under behavioral things, we have interactions and state machines. Okay, a state machine is nothing but the state of a particular object or sequence of states a particular object goes through its lifetime. So that we call it as state machine. And since it comes under behavioral uh, diagrams or behavioral things, so using these state machines, we can get the behavioral aspects. Okay. So here, that is what about state machines. And what is a state? State. So at a particular point of time, okay, it is a condition or a situation during the lifetime of an object. See, if you take the example of what is the state of you, okay, as a student. So your state is now as a student. See, in your lifetime, okay, the lifespan what we have from birth to death, so that is what we call it as the lifespan. Okay, within that, what is the current state of yours? Okay, so your state, your role is nothing but student. So that is the state I can talk about. So in a situation during the lifetime for a particular time, so that is what we call it as state. So within that state, if at all we are getting sequence of states. So today you may be a student, tomorrow you may become an employee. Okay, so on, it continues. Okay, so all that are captured in state machine, different sequences. So if you remember, activity diagram is sequence of, is it sequence or flow? So activity diagram is the flow control from one activity to other activity. And whereas interaction, flow between object to object. And use cases, for one flow control we are going to say what are the different sequence of actions, sequence of steps. So that is what we call use case. But when it is coming with respect to states, so it's nothing but an object. Okay, it's nothing but about a state chart diagrams or state machines we say. Okay, so here when we are talking about a particular state, it's nothing but with respect to object. Why? Because the interaction, the communication is done between the objects only, and those objects only can change its state in course of time. Maybe the system which is ideal at this point, maybe after few seconds by the initiation or the interaction message sent to it may be active. Okay, or after some time it may be idle, or maybe under the execution, maybe under cooling. So like the different states of that object can be captured in state chart diagrams, state machines. Okay, so let's see the example of state chart diagrams. So here, how graphically we give the state chart diagram graphical representation in UML. If you remember, it's a rounded rectangle. So here, how many different states we can see? So there are three different states: ideal state, cooling state, and heating state. Okay, so here the first two, ideal and cooling states, are the simple states. You can just see them, they are named. But whereas heating state, again it is having few more states within that. Okay, so these states we call them as nested composite states. A state which can be decomposed into further states, then it is called as composite state. So we'll be studying in detail the things here. So here let's see what's the scenario. So it's the sequence of states of an object. Okay, so these are the ideal state, cooling state, heating state are the different states of a particular object in its lifespan. Okay, along with its responses to those events. So here, this is the initial state. How we show the initial state in activity diagrams and final state in activity diagram. So here also similarly we show initial and starting state as we do in the activity diagram. So graphically you can just see the bullet. It's the initial state. Bullet with rounded circle is the end state, final state. Okay, so here, so this is the initial state. So the system, whatever is under ideal state, the system, whatever is under ideal state, too hot desired temperature. Okay, so when the ideal state will be there when the system is very hot. So maybe something like they were telling the example of the heaters or the geysers what we use in our day-to-day life at home. Okay, so when it is too hot, so it will be automatically off and it will be move on to the cooling state. Okay, desired temperature maximum is reached, so then it goes to cooling state. Okay, so and then the cooling state, too cold and desired temperature. So some temperature will be set for that. If that temperature water is not maintained, so again automatically if the switch is on, again it starts heating. Okay, so in the heating state, what will it will happen? Okay, so activating and active. So what it will activate? It is turning on. What's its turn on? The heater will turn on in the geyser in order to do the heating purpose, and that heating purposes will be activated, active, so that it will be heating. Okay, so since these are the substrates in the heating state, we call it as composite state. And within substrates also, when it is starting, so this start and stop things you can give here for a composite state. Okay, again after heating, when it is reaching a desired temperature, again it will go to cooling state. Okay, and when you off, so it will move on to the ideal state. Okay, so sometimes these are the things when the switch is on. If the switch is off, it will be ideal state, and once you on it, too cold desired temperature. So whatever the temperature, if it is not there maintained, as soon as you on, so it will be running into heating state, and after some temperature again it will move to ideal state. So this is based on when you on and off the switch, on the switch and off the switch. But whereas in this case, when the switch is on always, so it is going to just check the temperature, and then accordingly automatically it will be going to cooling, heating. So these things will be done. So this is what we call the state chart, state machines, or state chart diagram also we can say. But one thing I wanted everyone to remember, that this state chart diagrams or state machines is only for a particular object. There are no many objects here, only for a particular object only. In its lifespan, what are the different states it's changing? So that is what we are going to show in the state machines diagram. Okay, so this is the thing. So is it clear? Just one of you just confirm. Is it clear? Or you want me to repeat anything? Okay. Okay, so then we'll move on to the topics for today. So the first part of state machines is about terminology and concepts. Okay, terms and concepts. So as we have learned just the definition of a state machine, it's nothing but the behavior that specifies the sequence of states of an object. So what exactly it's how exactly it is behaving, sequence of states of a particular object. So I want everyone to remember this. It's about object only, and all those different states which are undergoing through its lifetime. So lifetime means here from birth to its death, or when it is created and until it is destroyed. So that is what we call it as lifetime. And within that, it will respond to some events together with responses to those events. Okay, so maybe by sending a message to one system, so it form may be changed. So that is what we are talking about, responses to events and responses to those events. Okay, so the next one, state. So I was talking about state. So state of an individual as you. Okay, it's a student. Okay, in your lifetime, maybe this slot your role is as a student. So that is one state of yours. So similarly here object also we can say. So in general, a state is a condition or situation during the lifetime of an object. Okay, situation or a condition during the lifetime of an object, during which it satisfies some conditions, performs some activity, or waits for some event. Okay, so based on the activity or based on the conditions imposed on you, so accordingly you are doing your actions as a student. Okay, so that is about state. So moving on to the next one, an event. Event is a specification of significance occurrence that has location and time in space. I was telling you in the previous class about an event. Say if at all we are conducting an IT event, our department is conducting an IT event. So event means we'll specify the details. So what time, what the inauguration will start, okay, when it is the valedictory. So that means when it is starting and when it is ending. Okay, so the time we are giving and within that time space. So that is going to occur. So that is what we say it as event. Okay, and event occurrence with respect to state machines, we can say it as stimulus that can trigger a state transition. See, trigger here means in turn what exactly it is going to act. So if a message is sent to some ideal state in order to start, so based on that message, its action is going to change. So that is what we say it as trigger. Okay, maybe this terminology might have come across in DBMS also. So trigger a transition. And then moving on to what is a transition? So the flow control which is sent from one activity to other activity, or the connection between two states, is called transition. So similarly here we can talk about transition. Why? Because in state chart diagrams or state machines, we are talking about states only, and the flow control is transferred between the states of a particular object, single object. Okay, so that's why we call the connection here between the states as transition, and which that indicates, so relationship between two states indicating that an object in the first state to perform certain actions and enter the second state. So that is what first state here in our example is the ideal state. Maybe the second state which will be heating state. Okay, so based on the event occurred there. So if you keep the switch on permanently, so then its second stage will be different. And when you on and off the switches for the heater or the geysers, so the second here the heating state will go. So this is one set and this is the other set. So that is what I am talking there. Okay, so and then activity. So we are slowly moving on to each and every terminology what we have learnt already. So if you remember what is an activity and action state, in activity diagrams the flow control is transferred from one activity or action state to other. That is what activity diagram we say. But what is an activity then? Activity is an ongoing non-atomic execution within a state machine. Non-atomic means atomic is which cannot be decomposed. Non-atomic means an activity state which can be decomposed further for doing the task. It's a bigger activity which takes a long duration of time, I can say. Whereas action, within insignificant time, it will be executed. So such things we call it as atomic. Atomic executions within a state machine. Okay, and sometimes the model or the return of a value also can be given from the state. Okay, so we need to have this terminology to learn in further about state machines and how exactly graphically they are given. So state is rendered as a rectangle with rounded corners, that is one. And transition is nothing but it's a connection between one state to another. Okay, so is rendered as a solid directed line. So solid directed line. Okay, so these are the things what we use graphically for state machines. So moving on to the first one under terminology, that is about context. So in what context we'll come across state chart diagrams or state machines? In the context of the object lifetime. Okay, within the lifetime of an object. So the different state of an object can be captured or can be shown using a state machines. Okay, so that is the context. And moving on to the states. So we learned about what is a state. It's nothing but a condition or a situation during the lifetime of an object, during which it satisfies some conditions, performs some activity or waits for some event. And object remains in a state for a finite amount of time. So that's what the example I was telling you. You are a student. Okay, so that is for maybe 2 years or 2-3 years. Okay, so here the example of a heater in room might be in 4 different states. So that is what I was just talking about. So let's see the example. So before that, so a state have several parts. So we know what is a state now. Okay, so a state is nothing but a condition or a situation in particular point of time in its duration. So such state may have these many number of parts. So name is nothing but the name given to that state in order to uniquely distinguished or in order to identify among the many states. And a state may be anonymous, meaning it has no name. So sometimes it may exist as anonymous. Since we have anonymous object, so similarly we can have anonymous state also. Entry and exit actions. So in order to perform some state, so there is some entry point and there is some exit point. Say suppose if you see this example here for an ideal state. So this is the entry point and key pressing is the exit point. So that is what actions executed on entering and exiting the state are called entry and exit actions. And internal transitions. So internal transitions means within a state, if it is performing some action without changing its state within the state. Say still if at all you want to show some different states within a state, then we can go for composite states where we can show the internal transitions. And then moving on to substates. So substrates means we may have disjoint or sequentially active or concurrently active substrates. So such states we call them as disjoint substrates. Just a minute, ma, 1 minute. Okay, so let's continue. So these are the different states here. So first we'll be giving the name for a particular state, and when that state, what is the entry for that state and what is the exit for state, and within the state if any action is performed without changing that state, so then that we call it as internal transitions. And substates, if a state can be divided into its substates, so and those substates again they can exist in sequentially or parallelly. So those things we'll be talking these in detail now in the next coming few minutes. And then deferred events. So deferred events means a list of events that are not handled in the state, but rather they are postponed, queued for handling by the object in the next state. So if some activity is given for the ideal state, it's not completely fulfilling. It's transferring that without finishing its complete activity, it is transferring that activity to the second state, saying that you have to continue. So in that stage, we call that as deferred events. Okay, so that is what the 5 different parts of a state. So a state can have name, entry and exit actions, internal transition, substates, and deferred events. So the example here, so it's a part of the example what we have seen initially. So it's they were saying about the heater what we use in at our homes. So initial state of the heater is idle. Okay, so this is the name and this is the state and this is the initial. So each one is named clearly. Okay, so ideal state, when you key press, so when you on the switch, so it will be in the running state. And once it is done, so once the water is hot or you can see the lights there, automatically sometimes it may go to ideal state. And when you on again, so it will be into running state. And finally you can shut down, switch it off. So that is the final state. So that is what we can here in this diagram. So it is mainly concentrated on parts of the state. So that is name, entry state, exit state. So deferred events and internal transitions may not be shown. And this is the final state. Okay, so is that clear? So a state can have 5 different parts. So each one are given in detail. So 2 special states, that is starting and ending. Okay, and transition. So a transition is nothing but the flow control transferred from one object to the other, or the connection between one state and the other state. We call it as transition, and we give it as a solid line with arrow pointing to the next state. So that transition, again we may talk about what type of flow control, how exactly the flow control is given, more specific. So we are talking about this thing. So here I'll tell you one example what we have already learned. See, when we are using dependency, in order to make dependency different kinds of flavors, more in specific, like bind, become, call. Okay, so like that we have studied many. Similarly, here for transition also, a transition is a control between the two states, but that also when it is happening, so those details we can show by giving the transition parts. So the first one here is source state. So a transition where it is starting. Okay, if you see here, this is a transition we say. Ideal state is the source state, where exactly the transition is beginning. So that is the source state. Okay, the state affected by the transition. If an object is in the source state, and outgoing transition may fire when the object receives the trigger event of the transition, and if the guard condition, if any, is satisfied. Okay, so where exactly the control is starting, that is what about the source state. Event trigger. Event trigger means what event or anything, some action is performed on that. So based on that, it is going to continue its further action. Okay, so the event whose reception by the object in the source state makes the transition eligible to fire. Eligible to fire means start acting on, provides the guard condition is satisfied. Guard condition means maybe in ER diagrams, if at all you have multiple flow controls, you will be giving some decision box. So the decision box you give the condition there. The same thing here we call it as the guard condition in UML. Instead of saying just condition, we say it as guard condition. Sometimes that flow is taken only based on the guard condition. If it is satisfied, that flow or that event will be fired, or else it won't be fired. Okay, so that is what we say about event trigger and guard condition. So just now I was telling you about, this is a condition or a constraint. So that condition can be either a Boolean expression or some condition. So when it is false, or it takes one flow, if it is true, and it takes the other flow. Okay, so that is about guard condition. And action, so we were talking about action is nothing but executable atomic computation. Okay, so which is happening in insignificant time, and which is atomic, which means it cannot be further decomposed. So that is what about the action. And the target state, the final state, the state which is before the stop state, is nothing but the target state. And as soon as you start, so the state whatever you have, that is the source state. Okay, so that is what we are talking about, source state and target state. And in between, so event trigger, so what kind of event or what action they are asking the state to perform, so accordingly it will fire or it will trigger, we'll say. And this is the condition, and based on the condition what action it is going to perform. So these are the 5 different parts of transitions. Okay, so here for that example is given here. Say maybe this example is for a missile, or so here clearly it's not given for what example it have been taken. So let's analyze by seeing the contents here. Okay, so here it's given in general. So here if you see, we are having 5 different states. So that is ideal state, and this is a source state where it is starting, and engaging is the one which is before stop, so that is the target state. Okay, so and whenever the self check is happening, so that is what we call it as self transition. If any self check is to be done, okay, after 2 seconds set active. So some signal is sent to active state. After 2 seconds, it has to start triggering or start doing its action. Okay, so how exactly this ideal state is going to start doing its action after 2 seconds? With some noise. So with some noise. So with noise is nothing but a symbol for its action is being performed. Okay, so the ideal state will move on to searching state. And from searching, it may move on to engaging state. Okay, so if you remember what is triggered transition and here it's given as triggerless. So I'll tell you the difference, please make note of it. Triggered transition means the action performed by one state is not complete and it is for its completion, so the control is transferred to the other state to carry out. That is triggered transition. Triggerless means, so the state itself will do its complete activity and then the control is transferred to the next state. So here the searching state is doing complete its action. What? Searching. So once that is done completely, then only the control is transferred to the next state. In that thing we call it as triggerless transition. If it is not finishing and sending, then we call it as triggered transition. So please make note of this. Okay, and this engaging, it may move on to tracking. And ideal state also, based on the things, if the target at points, if there here some conditions are given. So if any target t instance dot add target. So if this guard condition is satisfied, so the ideal state is directly going to be triggered with these parameters for tracking. Okay, and it will be moving on to engaging, and finally it goes to stop state. Okay, say this example you can just relate for your vehicles or something. Okay, so where you can come across all these different states. Maybe the vehicle which is ideal, it may be started and you start searching for the things whether they are in the particular order or not. Then you start driving, okay, on, and then you start doing and then stopping. Okay, you are engaged and then stop. Or maybe with the machine on itself, you may not be driving. So with some parameters, so if some obstacle is coming, you may stop it. Okay, and once that is done, gone, or that is a guard condition there, so that ideal state which is in on state will be moved on to moving state and then journey achieved and then stop. Okay, see here some examples are very vague. You can relate those things to your day-to-day things, and you can easily remember those examples accordingly. Okay, so these are the things about transitions. So a transition may have these 5 different states. Okay, so what are the 5 different states of a transition? We have source and target. In between, the event trigger, guard condition, and what the action is performed. Okay, so we learned about what is the event trigger. Okay, so a triggerless transition is called as complete transition. Okay, so it's performing its action completely within that state and the activity is given to the next state. If it is triggered transition, that means it's not complete, still it's giving the control to the next state to carry out. So in that state we call it as triggered transition. If it is completely doing and giving to the control to the next one, then it is called triggerless transition. Okay, is that clear or you want me to repeat anything here? Triggered and triggerless. Yes, ma'am. I just want the confirmation from any one of you.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. So the next one about guard condition. So guard means I was many times telling you. So the general meaning of guard is say some security. Okay, so based on that security issues, whether the data have to be sent or not, or whether the next state of it have to be taken care or not, it will be based on the guard. Okay, so here the guard condition means here we are taking some conditions since we are working with respect to systems. So based on the condition, so either that condition can be a Boolean expression which can be enclosed in square brackets and placed after the trigger event. If any guard condition is satisfied, okay, then it is going to fire that event and that event will occur. Or else maybe if it is not satisfying, maybe it takes the other flow. Okay. So here the examples. So guard condition. So here this is the one guard condition we can say. So when I was telling you, so the vehicle when it is on and when you are in driving state, so if any obstacle is coming, so you are stopping there. So the obstacle is the condition there for which you are stopping. Okay, after that and you start driving. Okay, so based on the condition applied, so based on something which is satisfied there, so accordingly the action is going to be performed. Okay, and action already we have studied. It is an executable atomic computation and which exists in time and space. And advanced states. So moving on to the next one, the fourth terminology, advanced states. So here we studied about different parts of states. Okay, so now advanced states means we can manage the complex behavior of the models by using the advanced states. Okay, so the advanced states is having 5 different features. So we have those features include entry and exit, actions, internal transitions, activities and deferred events. Okay, so here whatever the parts of the state we learnt about, so those parts, if any state, all those parts are given for a particular state, then we call it as advanced state. So all the features of or all the parts of a state is shown in one state, which is called as advanced state. Okay, so entry and exit actions. So here let's see the example here. So this is the example for missile. Okay, so here the state is nothing but tracking state, and that is the name of the state. And for this particular state, if you can show all the different parts of that particular state, that is entry, exit, the target, okay, the action, internal transition, what action or activity, the deferred event, what action is done. So when all parts of a state, if you are able to show a particular state, then we call it as the advanced state of. Okay, so when exactly the tracking state it's going to enter. Okay, so set mode on track. When the mode is set and on track parameters is passed to set mode, so then tracking is going to be taken care. Set mode off track. Okay, so that is the exit action. Internal transition means, so if any new target is found, so that is what they are going to acquire. Okay, and what action if they acquire some new target, what they are going to do, they are going to follow the target. Okay, so what activity, so they are doing that activity to follow the target. And then deferred event, so first tracking, it will do the self test whether it is working properly or not, and then the event is going to be carried out to do the task. Okay, so this is one example of where we were talking about the advanced states. So the same thing what I was telling you about internal transitions. So within a state, if the events are performed without changing its state, Okay, so those are called as internal transitions. So all these things we can say it as internal transitions of this state. Okay, without changing the state. And activities, what action or activity is performed within the state. And deferred events, deferred. So without completion, the control is transferred to the next one. So that is what deferred events. Okay, and substates. So a state which can be decomposed. So those things we can call it as substates. So the next heading is about, fifth one is about, fifth terminology under state machines is about substates. Okay, so whenever a state, so let's see each one. Whenever a state is in its simple form, which cannot be further decomposed, or a simple state that has no substructure or no substates, then it is called just a state. Okay, so the next one we have a state that has substates. A state that has substates, we call that as nested states, or the other term we call it as composite state. A state without no substates, it's a simple state. A state with substates, it is called as a composite state. And these composite state may be either in two forms. So these two forms, the first one, it can be concurrent, that is orthogonal, which are in parallel, or they can be in the sequential ones. I was telling you about each state, if it is further decomposed, either they can be in the sequence flow or parallel flow. Okay, and so let's see this in detail. So sequential substates. So substates we are talking about two, can make it clear. Sequential substates, sequential substates and concurrent substates. So between the sequential and concurrent substates, we are going to come across something called as history. So the history, if at all we want to specify, so we can talk about the history of those states. So when we come across, so I will discuss at that time. So sequential substates means, if at all a state is divided into substates, say here this is an example for an ATM machine. Okay, so usually ATM machine, when no users are using, it will be in the ideal state. Okay, and this is the source state. And though it is ideal, it has to be maintained, it should be kept working. So that is what maintenance we say, this process. And then when you insert your card, okay, debit or credit card into the machine which is ideal, so the ideal state of the ATM machine will be transferred to active state. Okay, so when the ATM is in active state, what exactly you are doing? So first validating, enter your PIN, and once that is validated, you are going to select based on the menu what you are wanted to do. So you start processing. Okay, and then if at all you want any print, you will take. After processing, again it may ask, do you want to do one more transaction? Okay, so if the things you do, so it will be done, or else it will come out. Okay, so this is not continue. So further, if at all you are not continuing, so it will continue. It will come out to give a print, or if it is continuing, it will continue. So that this continue and not continue are nothing but the guard conditions. If the transaction, they want to take one more transaction, so it is going to be continued. If they don't want to do any more transactions, then it is not continued. That is what the transaction we are giving. Okay, so and what is the entry of this activity state? Entry of this active state is nothing but reading the card, reading your ATM card. And when you exit out of this state, by removing the card, eject card. Okay, So that is what we were talking about, entry and exit. So if you see here, this active state, since active state without changing its state only, still it is having more substates within that. So a state which can be decomposed into substates is called as a composite state. And those substates within a composite state are following in sequence, one after the other: validating, selecting, processing, printing, or validating, selecting, processing, again selecting, processing, printing. So any one flow, one after the other. So that is what we call it as sequential substates. Okay, and once that is done, so once you print and you take out your card, so this will be moving on to again the ideal state, and the system is readily maintained, working, so that the other user will use. Okay, so why after validating it is moving on to start state here? So active state is the start when it is validated only. Unless your card is valid, you give your PIN and all, no. So once it is valid, then only you can do this process. Okay, so that is the initial state of this. Okay, why there is no stop state for this? Because always the ATM machine is maintained. Okay, so that's why there is no stop state. Okay, so there are some systems which won't have stop state. So you can say about ATM machine example. Okay, so I was telling you something about history will come in between sequential substates and parallel substates. Okay, so when we are learning about history, so a state machine describes the dynamic aspects of an object whose current behavior depends on its past. So if at all, say suppose for example, as a user, if at all you want to use or apply for a credit card, one more credit card, already you had one more you want. So they are going to check your history. So if you are the good customer for them, paying on time and all, so they'll be readily giving the second card. But if you are a card defaulter or maybe some problem if you are not paying, so all that with that details, so that is what the state, history state we say. Okay, so depends on its past, that is what about history state. Okay, shallow history and deep history is there. So shallow history means just getting the details of yours. Okay, deep history means, say suppose if you are a card defaulter or if you are not paying properly, so they still dig into the deep details of yours whether to give or not. Okay, so that is the history. Okay, so here the history gives us H, and the H rounded by a circle we say it as shallow history, and H with star as superscript, then we call it as deep history. So these are the symbols. Again I repeat, history we have two types, shallow history and deep history. Shallow history is nothing but this is how we represent, H with circle. Deep history, H superscript with star. Okay, so let's see the example here. So command, so based on the command the history is checked in order to back up state. So this based on the history they are going to collect, copy and clean up, and then the command is going to give. Or from the backup if any query is there, so they can get it from the command. So this is the example where we can show about the history states. And this is about the shallow history which is named here. Okay, so then moving on to concurrent substates. So concurrent substates means parallelly when they are happening. Say suppose for ATM machine only, so ideal state it has to be maintained for the users to use it. So this maintenance of testing and commanding. So testing means testing devices, self-diagnose. So testing start and stop. So this is one sequence here. And commanding. So this is one sequence. So this in maintenance testing is always done. Testing devices, self-diagnosis. So this is done. And commanding. So it keeps waiting, and whenever the user comes, so according to their commands, it is going to do the transactions. So that is what, when parallel activities are done, then we call it as concurrent substates. And when the substates are maintained, we call it as sequence substates. Okay, so all these are very important, so please make a note of it. And the last one, second part of this chapter, so that is about common modeling techniques. So only one common modeling technique we have, modeling the lifetime of an object. So if you understand what is the lifetime of an object and what are the in detail things about that, so easily we can say lifetime of an object means it's nothing but state machines only. Okay, or the other day I was telling you, modeling the uh, objects time ordering. So that is sequence diagram. Modeling the objects organizational structure of objects. Then we can say it as collaboration diagram. Okay, so lifetime of an object means it's nothing but the state diagram. So whatever the terminology we have learned till now, so all those terminology can be applied. So in order to model that, so this point you have to remember the context for a state machine, whether it is a class or a use case or a system as a whole. Okay, so what is the context we have to see? Context of the system in whole, and what is the which object we are taking and what is its participation. So what details we want to capture, and once the state is decided, what is the final initial and final states, and if any guard conditions are there or any pre and post conditions. So that is what about the guard conditions, and decide on the events whether they are triggered events or triggerless events. So based on that we can talk about, and here we can, if there are any state is uh, advanced state, you can show all the parts of the state, and then for a transition you can give all the 5 parts of the transition. Okay, source, target, deferred events, action, activity. So likewise, and if any substate state can be decomposed, so that is a composite state, and that composite substates, if they are in sequential order, sequential substates, and if any composite states are maintained parallelly, concurrently, they are called as concurrent substates. So based on all the scenario, the terminology what we have studied, so we can model the lifetime of an object. So here the example is given for the state machine for the controller in home security system. So this is, see, just 2 minutes now, I'll just finish this one. Okay, so home security system, so maybe alarm, the security system what is there. So initially a starting point, it has to be initialized, so it should be in a condition working. Okay, so initially it will be idle and it keeps checking for every 10 seconds. Okay, so if any attention or any command or any suspicion is done, so that command is sent to the ideal state. Okay, so the ideal state will move on to active state if any threat or anything is happening or unlocking the doors and all. So the alarm is set there, so that is a transition there, and once that is done it will move on to the ideal state, and for command and all it moves to command state, that is the attention state. But when alarm is given and when it is moving on to the active state, what exactly it is having, it is going to check. So what is the entry? Call centers, calling and waiting. So entry is nothing but the set alarm, and exit is nothing but the clear alarm of this active system. Okay, so these are the topics I wanted to cover today. So these are the things about state machines.